Hello, welcome back, and I'm glad, as always, that you're joining me here today. Let's start off today's discussion about our essential oneness. What else would we be talking about? With an explanation of the title that this course means what it says. We're going to say some more about that here. And understand that throughout, no matter what part of the text or workbook or manual for teachers you're working on and working with right now, this course means what it says. Every single word. And let's all be glad of that, because that is what we profess to want here in the world. We here in the midst of what we call life, in our jobs, in our economic systems, in our countries of residence, wherever that may be, everything that passes for life here in the world, which, by the way, is not our real life in God, which we all know. Let's just hear that as many times as we need to, right? Here in the midst of all of our daily activity, we often become violent and agitated and rude with one another. We become short with one another, demanding that someone say what they mean and mean what they say, don't we? We implore people to get to the point now, yesterday, to cut right to the chase, to say exactly what we mean and mean exactly what we say, and to do it now. And in many contexts, particularly in the business world, we become hostile with one another when we want someone to get right to the point and mean exactly what he or she says. Only God is. You are one with God. The end. There is no end, of course, but that's the point. There is only perfect oneness. Your brother is you. He is not your blood relative. He's not your next of kin. He is not separate from you. He's not related to you. He's not similar to you. He's not like you. He doesn't root for the same football club. I mean, maybe he does, but your brother is you. Period. Acceptance of this is at the heart of what we call awakening. That's why the section that we're working on right now in the text is called the acceptance of your brother. So this course means exactly what it says. God is. The implicit part is the only. Only God is. There is only perfect oneness. This means that there is no separation of any kind, and your brother is not separate from you, even if you have similar views or your blood relatives. Your brother is not separate from you. There is no separation of any kind. This course means what it says. This is literal. There is no separation. So, here in a world where we've made separation real for ourselves, and we see 8 billion screaming human beings and countless other forms of life that look differently, so we've classified them as separate from us. We've classified our own species as separate from us. We classify ourselves based on all kinds of supposed emphasis on supposed attributes, such as national origin, ethnic group, political affiliation, gender, job title, social status, even our own name. All of them artificial labels, which, when we adhere to them, keep the separation firmly in place in our mind, yet we're simply mistaken about this supposed separation. It never occurred. So here in the world where we've made it real for ourselves, where we've made pain and suffering and economic strife and competition all too violently real for ourselves, we need healing. We need the miracle. The miracle, if you're new to this course, is any shift in our mind where this whole thing is taking place. Any shift in our mind from illusion to truth, from fear to love, from the ego to the Holy Spirit, from the ego to God, from dark to light. Things like that. Any shift. We need the miracle here. It's corrective and it points us to what we really are. So we need them while we appear to be here. We need healing, and what is healing? Well, it's healing the mind. It's changing our mind. It's learning to see everything for what it is. Ourselves, our brother, the world itself. We're learning to see things as they are, rather than the way that we've made them, which is a hot mess. And if you didn't know and feel that deep down, you would not be here watching. That is why we're all on this wild ride that we call the spiritual path, because we know deep down who we are. It's not a mystery. Remember, this course means exactly what it says. We're one with God. So really taking the time to study and practice this material is stripping down everything to its bare essence. It's recognizing and allowing the simplicity, the sheer disarming simplicity of truth to dawn in our minds. What do? We clear all of the barriers to our awareness of it. We take down the wall, so to speak. We lift the veil, in a manner of speaking. We remove the obstacles to our awareness of truth, which is true. Truth is true. Always. It's never gone anywhere, despite all of our delusional, mad wanderings, which may produce for us some very wonderful, beautiful, hot, sexy moments. And they also produce despair. Sometimes we experience both of those in the same 5-minute period, don't we? Life is like that. wildly inconsistent at best. And this obtains no matter what your status here in the world, no matter what your bank account looks like, no matter what you do for work or what your relationship status is or isn't, doesn't make any difference. This world is wildly inconsistent because it is not real either. There is no world. So how could something that is not real be consistent? Consistently the same at all times. Can't possibly be. So let's release it from our burdensome expectations that it conform to every single thing that we, in our ego-clinging minds, want to have happen. This course is about our allowing truth to be just as it is. And I would say that all of spirituality is doing the same. Whether it comes right out and says so or not, we're setting the ego aside. We're allowing truth to be just as it is, rather than getting in the way. What happens when we get in our own way? Daily life with struggle, strife, and warfare. And even if you're having a beautiful decade or a beautiful 2 or 3 decades full of lavish feasts and a beautiful house and money and prestige and social status, none of that lasts. And has all of that brought you constant happiness 24/7? Happiness that's not of this world. When you answer no, of course not, then, well, you're in the right place watching this video. What we're learning here under the direction of our inner teacher is we're learning that giving and receiving are in fact the same. To give and to receive are one in truth. Why? There's only perfect oneness. So here in time, here in the world, where we appear to be individuals, we learn about our perfect oneness with our brother and with God, because it's perfect oneness after all. We learn about this through giving. In time, the giving comes first. We forgive our brother. We extend love to our brother. We share the Holy Spirit with our brother. We accept our brother, in other words, just as he is, hence the title of this section, the acceptance of your brother. We're learning that giving and receiving are the same. They're simultaneous. When a gift is given, it's received instantly at the same time. Why? To give and to receive are one in truth. So what we see here in the world is that it's not accepted right away. Not necessarily. Sometimes it is, and that's a beautiful thing. But often it's not. We give someone a gift, and let's just say you walk out of your house and you go for a walk in your neighborhood today, and you smile and say hello to your neighbor. That's a gift right then and there. And your neighbor has received the gift the instant you give it. So what happens when your neighbor goes, or sneers or ignores you, even though you know that they heard you, is that they have not accepted the gift yet. The gift is still given and received. It simply awaits their acceptance. We have been given the gift of life itself. God is life, and we're one with God. What is happening right here is we're learning to accept it. We're learning to accept the truth. We're learning to accept who we are. And it's not this. It's not the physical body. So the gift is given and received. We've received it, but we're learning to accept it, to allow it. What helps us is giving this same gift that we've received. When our brother receives our love, the love of God, the love of the Holy Spirit, and returns it to us, we keep it in our mind. This is how we keep things. We give them away. If any of us were to accept even one of God's creations just as he is, we would not want anything in this world at all. It would be shabby, unworthy, and unsatisfying. If we were to accept even one of our brothers as he is. No, there is only one of us. So here, where we think there are 8 billion, if we were to accept one, if we were to see just one brother as he is, we would recognize ourself, capital S. We would recognize who we are, and nothing in this world would even matter at all to us. That's how profound this is and how true this is. And we cannot realize that we are a co-creator with God until we realize that we're a co-creator with our brother, one, joined. This is how we awaken, is by accepting our brother just as he is. We do this by giving. We forgive the Son of God. We extend love to the Son of God. We share with our brother. We share the Holy Spirit with our brother. How will that look? Well, it'll look differently for you than it may look for me. Not everybody does or will ever be directed to do what I'm doing right now. This is my own particular directive to turn on the camera and microphone and share the Holy Spirit with all of you. It's my joy and pleasure to do so. It's also my own directive, and yours may look completely differently. And that is perfectly okay. And it's part of the plan, because there are people out there that you will reach better than I will reach. They will respond to the Holy Spirit coming through you better than anyone else, and you're supposed to reach them. So we take the guidance of the Holy Spirit. We accept our inner teacher's guidance and support here on the path. This is how we wake up, is we extend the Holy Spirit. We recognize that our brother is one with us. We do it experientially, which is really the only way that we'll ever learn, because intellectual knowledge and understanding is one thing. Experiential knowledge is something completely different. And that is exactly where the action lies in spirituality, no matter what form it takes. I'm not just talking about this course. I'm talking about all of it. It is through our own practical application that we learn. Our experience proves to us the truth of the teachings. our experience proves to us that this course means exactly what it says when it says that our brother is one with us and that we are one with God. And there's no other conclusion that's even possible because there is no separation of any kind. So, one thing to comprehend that, or to feel that we comprehend it on an intellectual level. Another thing entirely to go forth and experience it. So, how do we have that experience? Give love, extend the love of God, extend the Holy Spirit to your brother in whatever way you're directed by our inner teacher. That's how we do it. And it's rinse, repeat. We do it and we do it again. And we experience the truth of these teachings as we forgive, as we extend love, as we put them into action. It's how we learn this course. And it's how we awaken, no matter what spiritual tradition you may follow. Now, I keep mentioning the total inclusivity of spirituality here because this course is not a religion. Happily. I mean, that's the last thing this world needs, isn't it? Another religion with its own hierarchical structure and concretized dogma that maybe didn't start out that way, but sure wound up that way after 2,000 years. Or something, right? That's not what this course is. The genius of this is that it is a self-study curriculum. We take what we're called to take, what we're willing to take in the present moment under the guidance of our inner teacher. It's self-study. It's self-study, and it's universal. It is universal spirituality. Spirituality is universal. Life is universal because it simply is. It has no opposite and no exception. Remember, God is. You're one with God. God's the creator, yes, definitely. You're one with God. Like extends like. There is no separation of any kind. So along the way, we're invited to contemplate these ideas, to take them to heart in a manner of speaking, and put them into practice. Remember that it is the practical application that matters. So along the way, should you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer those questions as best I can. My intention for this channel is not just to have a place to share with you, but to have a forum for a dialogue should you benefit from that, should you have questions, which I think are inevitable on the spiritual path. They come up, they're bound to come up. So feel welcome to leave them here if you have them. And please subscribe if you have not. We'd love to have you join us. There are several videos posted each week here. We're going through the text of A Course in Miracles. And again, the subscription button's here in the corner of your screen. That's that arrow here. And please feel welcome to click on that and join us here. All right. So thank you, as always, for tuning in. Remember, questions are more than welcome. So if you've got them, please leave them. And even if you want to pop in and say hello, we'd love to hear from you too. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Talk to you soon.